Welcome everybody. This is Jeremiah Pouncey. I'm with Vet Candy and WVC. I'm with.
Dr. Tony Pease, Chief Veterinary Medical Officer and Radiologist. So glad to meet you, man.
Hey, likewise, a great vibe, great energy.
Oh,
We loved it.
we love it. You're in the exhibit hall, which is the amazing hub spot of everything. And yeah, absolutely. 900 hours of education, 57 wet labs. We got it all, but we're so happy to have you because really we're focusing on students. And
Yeah.
so how classes going?
Oh, classes are going pretty well. We're in at least our third years. We're in diagnostic imaging,
Perfect.
and then it's all electives for us for this semester. So I'm in animal nutrition. I'm in food animal welfare. I'm in Spanish, which Spanish is also very, very fun, very needed as well.
Oh, 100%.
I know I like traveling and doing different conservation work as well as
I
shelter
saw
medicine.
that. That was amazing.
Hey,
Some of the stuff that you did.
I appreciate it. So I feel like the Spanish class, it definitely helps a lot. Just being able to communicate, even though it's
Well, medical
just a little
Spanish is
bit.
so different.
That's the other big thing that I'm learning. There's so many words that we want to be able to describe different things that just aren't words in
Yeah,
other languages.
right.
So it's pretty interesting.
Oh, I bet.
Pretty
Trying to convey it and almost trying to figure out the words kind of closest to, but absolutely awesome.
Exactly. And I wanted to ask, when it comes to putting on a conference of this scale, as you guys can see, it is insane people.
We got tons.
So how do you guys go about putting this together?
Well, honestly, this is our 98th year.
Oh, that
So,
experience.
That's exactly right. This is something people have come to expect year over year. And honestly, it grows bigger and bigger every year because we are the place to come,
Yeah.
especially when it comes down to the West Coast. And honestly, it's one of the reasons why we realized after 98 years, we should bring this to the East Coast too.
Yeah.
So we're all about going to Nashville, and so
Yeah.
that's going to be up in August. So it's going to be amazing times to take all this sort of fun activity, these huge exhibit halls. But honestly, when it comes down to especially students, the networking, being able to
Yeah.
meet people, being able to come to these booths. There's so many different basic veterinary clinics and everybody who's hiring, and you can talk to them and you can see what you need to do. But
Exactly.
it's almost like the frontier. Why am I studying so hard? This is why you're studying so hard.
Yes. And I feel like that's the biggest thing coming to these different conferences is the fact that there are so many people here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of course, vets, but also people tangentially related to vet med. There's lawyers, there's accountants, there's the media people, there's everybody.
Well, it's the
That's
best
all
part.
connected.
It's the best part of veterinary medicine, right? You can do anything, and it's amazing. You started off when I was going through vet school and I was tracking equine, and then all of a sudden I did my internship in small animal, and they were like, "Dude, you like both? You should be a radiologist." Being here, veterinary medical officer, this huge tangent. You can do anything you want, and
Yeah.
so I love the diversity of the classes you're taking because when you're in vet school, be a sponge. Just love it.
And I feel like there's so much to learn. There's so much to do.
Oh,
At Cornell, we have the Center for Veterinary Business and Entrepreneurship, so we're able to take different elective courses. So right now, or after spring break, I'll be in contracts and negotiation, which is going to be very, very big. I'm in practice management. I'm in services marketing. I had to take an accounting course. It's all stuff that's very, very needed and very applicable. And as a vet student, you're already paying the tuition, so
might as well
just
just
try
get
to-
the most. It's exactly right. Soak it up. And I think that's the biggest thing is that we are so much more than just treating a dog, right?
Exactly.
You got to be an entrepreneur. What you do with your podcast
Yeah,
and
I
and all your
appreciate it.
stuff. There's a need for people to understand what it is to be a veterinarian, and just even showing behind the curtain of what vet school is all about because it's hard,
Yeah.
but there's so much opportunity to see everything, and so that's what's
Exactly.
really nice because, like you said, when you're looking around here, there's just a huge diversity. 500 different companies. You got everything in veterinary medicine. It's amazing.
What do you feel like your favorite part about this conference is, or even just conferences in general?
Honestly, for me, I love this because I get to walk around and I get to see all my friends, right? Whether they're the instructors, whether they're the students, because
The
I teach.
reunions.
Exactly right. I was at Michigan State University as a tenured professor. I taught at NC State. I was at Cornell, so I was super
Okay.
excited.
I went
it's
to
so
undergrad
nice.
in North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's
yeah.
right. We got the Wolfpack. That's
Yeah.
right. So it's amazing just to see all these people, but also form the relationships year over year. And so I think that's what's nice. People keep coming back. We get a lot of people coming back year
Yeah.
over year. And so you think it's almost like a nice reunion every year.
I feel like from my role as SABMA president, while at Cornell, we were able to go to SABMA Symposium, Chapter Summit, AVMA Convention, and all those were our friend group. It was just basically a big hangout. We had to do the meetings and all that type
Exactly.
of stuff. But then afterwards, just being able to catch up and interact with people that are outside of just your immediate circle.
Right.
And I feel like that's super beneficial to me. So I can't even imagine how that is over years and years of time.
Oh, 100%. And that's the whole thing. Being SABMA, students are just the lifeblood of everything. And as soon as when you get out of vet school, the hard part is you have so much interaction with your instructors and everything, and it's almost like cold turkey. You graduate, and it's like, good luck.
Yes.
Take
Just
care.
do whatever.
That's
yeah.
right. Have fun. And that's what we feel like we step in. As Viticus Group, the whole point is we are here year round to do all these sort of hands-on labs and lectures, but also then you have these conferences where you can learn anything and everything. We do everything from exotic animals to dentistry to you couldn't pick a topic that you wouldn't be able to find here. When we go to Nashville in August, we're going to have Pease. We're going to have everything.
Insane,
we try to figure out things that probably weren't hit on as much in clinics, but that you're sort of, when you get out, people are going to be like, hey, I need you to do this. And you're like, well, I don't feel as confident. That's what we're here for, to build that confidence.
I love that. When it comes to the student aspect and getting students involved, what do you feel like you want students to be able to get out of when coming to conferences like these? Is it the wet labs? Is it the lectures, the networking? What do you feel like your top three would be?
I was going to say all of them, man. I think the biggest thing that I love about vet students coming to conferences is the fact that you get to see what it's all about, right? What are you studying so hard for?
Exactly.
Why are you taking those exams? Because at the end of the day, there's a huge network and you're not alone. So whether it's networking, if you're feeling like you want to do hands-on labs, that's great. But I would say wait until you're out and when you're a recent grad, if there's something that you're like, ooh, I'd like to practice on, but we offer so much that if you're sort of like, ooh, I'd love to do ultrasound, because it's hard when you're at Cornell because there's residents, there's interns, you don't get to hold that probe as much as you would love. Then you could say, let's do that. But there's a lot of different opportunities. So I think there's something for everyone, which is nice.
I love that. I do feel like that's a very big thing. Just being able to soak everything up.
Oh, 100%.
Soak everything up. As you were saying, in this
all the parties
environment,
too. That's right.
You're able to meet a whole bunch of people, even just outside the professional setting. I feel like that's one of the big things that, at least that I feel like I've been able to experience, even just in my first, 24 hours
I know, right?
here, is just being able to see people and just having conversations and seeing where those conversations go, where it takes me, where it leads me. Just because there's just so many options, so many opportunities I just never would have thought of. Even just like this opportunity to be able to interview you, I never would have knew that I would have been able to have that.
The best part about it is you don't have to be a social media influencer to do that. Honestly, we are so accessible. And the whole point comes down to is there's so many people here that really want you to be here. And so it's really what you make out of it, just like veterinary medicine in general. When you're going through vet school, the opportunities are there. The whole thing is trying to figure out that balance of being able to study versus doing your extra stuff. And so you have to figure that out. But we're always here. And that's what's really nice is that we don't really do a lot of online things. We are all about in-person, hands-on, confidence building, but providing you what you need. But honestly, the other thing is, let us know if there's things that you're like, ooh, I'd love to see this, I'd love to see that. We're constantly changing. Like I said, 98 years, we're coming up to the 100th year. Now we're looking at what's the next 100 years going to be.
What do you feel like is going to be? I know 100 is a gigantic milestone.
Oh my God.
What do you feel like that's going to be? Because
it's going to be a
right
party.
now, crazy. The 100th is going to be. I feel like that's going to draw everybody out, even if they don't come regularly.
Well, how often do you get to go to a centennial, right?
Exactly.
And I think the whole thing comes down to is that it is going to be such a blowout, such an amazing kind of concept to say, let's make it, pull out all the stops. And we're in Vegas anyway.
Exactly.
So it's going to be amazing. But honestly, the whole thing is also trying to show you what the future is going to hold.
Yeah.
If you think about what veterinary medicine was in 1927, and then what it's going to be like in basically coming up all the way up to 2028 and beyond. It's just an amazing concept. So we're super excited. All the AI technologies, all of the computer-based stuff, but really even robotics and things. So lean in on that too.
I've been seeing stuff about, I forgot what it was called, but a robot that can do surgery you can do remote surgery.
Oh, it's amazing. So it's a Da Vinci robot. And what's really cool is you can sit at a station and do the surgery and just basically laparoscopically, but the robot's on the other side of the room.
Which is crazy.
Isn't it nuts? We actually have that over the Equino Center because we not only work with veterinary side, we also do human health.
Gotcha.
And so we've had them there that we play around with it. It's amazing. So, and that's what I love about what we can do is because we're trying to take the things that are available in veterinary medicine or human medicine and bring it to veterinary and then vice versa. So what we learn in vet school, just the tip of the iceberg. And then it's just whatever direction you want to go, whatever you want to do, the world's your oyster.
How do you, when it comes to taking stuff from or learning from human med and translating that to vet med, how do you feel like you've been able to do that?
Well, a lot of it's the resources. It's just amazing when it comes down to endoscopes and ultrasounds and all the different techniques like stenting and things of that nature. What's nice is once it gets established in the human health side, then they bring it to veterinary, but also sometimes veterinarians on the forefront, and we're
Yeah.
doing it, and they're like, ooh, I'd like to use that in
This
people.
could work in
Right. So I think there's a really good synergy, and it's been great working with physicians, especially neurosurgeons and things of that
Yeah.
nature, because we're learning so much as a radiologist. We learn so much of what they're doing in human brain MRIs, and then
Yeah.
we're applying it to animals and saying,
Exactly.
oh, this is how this works.
Exactly.
So there's just so much synergy. That's why it's always funny when people are like, oh, veterinary medicine, I'm a human, you probably don't know. And we're
Yeah.
like, dude, you're just a mammal to
Yeah.
us.
Literally.
So it's awesome.
Yes. I feel like when it comes to innovation, I feel like there's so much innovation that's happening on both sides. And I'm really intrigued on seeing how that translates or how it progresses over these next 10 years, especially when it
Oh
comes
my
to
God.
AI, because there's so many different things that are already getting, even outside of human health,
Yep.
just within other industries, where in ways that AI is getting applied, that I feel like
Good to see you, my
eventually
friend.
it's going to get brought to vet med.
Oh,
We just have
100%.
no idea what that
Well,
could be.
it's one of those things that a lot of people feel AI is a threat to them or
Yeah.
things of that nature, but it's really trying to make us more efficient, right? And then when the human health side, they're seeing so many cases and so many patients. But from our standpoint, the biggest thing that I think is job security. A Chihuahua is not a Great Dane. And
Exactly.
so a computer is going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whereas for people, we're pretty much similar. So you can
Exactly.
just be like, oh, it's just a chest on a person.
Exactly.
No big deal. But we have a lot of this sort of, hey, a dog's not a cat, not a. So it's going to be one of those things that we always need veterinarians. You need that knowledge base, but hopefully AI can help us be more efficient, see more things. But you're still always going to be that stopgap to look at it and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, close, but no cigar.
I feel like that makes me feel safe
100%.
as a
lot of
current
people
vet
freak-
student.
Absolutely. A lot of people are like, oh, why go into medicine in general because AI is going to take it over. It can make you a little bit more efficient. Maybe you can see some animals. Maybe you can actually process the information a little bit better. Because let's face it, what's really nice about AI is you get 10 years of blood work. You and I, we're going to look
We're
at the
not
we're
gonna
not
be
going
able
to
to-
assimilate that. But if all of a sudden somebody just sends it up and says, hey, we've seen this trend, you can be like, oh, that makes sense. Let me
Yeah.
try to figure this out.
Exactly.
So it's basically taking a huge amount of data that we're all dealing with and making us better at analyzing.
Exactly. A tool as opposed to
100%,
replacing the
right.
vet.
100%. That's just going to be just like your phone. You can't think that your phone's ever going to replace you. They're still going to be
Exactly.
calling you.
How do you feel like when it comes to vet med, and in terms of the innovation aspect and embracing technology, I feel like the vet industry, at least from what I've seen, is sometimes slow to change. So how do you feel like AI or even just like future tech, what mindset shift do you feel like vet students now will need to have so that we're more open to innovation, more open to the new possibilities that vet med may have?
I think the biggest thing is not to have blind trust, right? I think at the end of the day, trust your education, trust your ability. And the best part, Cornell, all the different vet schools right now really are teaching you how to be a critical thinker. You're not going to memorize the dose of doxycycline.
Exactly.
Like, we got that.
There's no
like,
way.
You can basically pull that up,
Yeah.
but you're going to know why you're using doxy versus why you're going to use 5-mox, why you're going to be a different thing. And you're going to find that you talk to any surgeon, you talk to anybody who's been out a while, that breadth of knowledge that you learned is going to get narrowed down into 4 or 5 drugs that you really need. But what you end up kind of going down is that, especially when it comes down to, we have AI that are reading radiographs. And AI can basically give you a thumbs down, but at the end of the day, is this normal? Is this not normal?
Exactly.
But you don't really want a radiology report from them because you're like, how much do I trust that? So I think the biggest thing is to be, I guess I like to call it critically curious. You can use the technology. I love voice dictation, but it's not always right. And so you can use that to guide you through.
I know I love using AI for studying, and just seeing how it's improved over the years is crazy. So I can't even imagine how it'll be diagnostic wise, voice to text wise. All that's going to be insane. I feel it's going to get blown out of the water over these next few years. And there's so many AI applications that we just can't even think of. It starts with the voice to text for soap notes and everything, but then what's next?
Well, and like you said, I think the next step is actually curated content. What they're trying to do is, you've seen it with MDs, they're also trying to do it with lawyers, and they're doing it with veterinarians. They're taking all the textbooks, all of the preceding notes, all the journals, and trying to put that and say, hey, let's just search this rather than searching the entire internet.
Exactly.
Pull it off of the Wikipedias, pull it off of the blog posts, and then all of a sudden you can trust that data a little bit better. Because as you said, there's so much information. As a vet student, you see it. We're teaching you the bare minimum foundation, but I think AI is great at summarizing, right? So I had to give a talk where we were talking about obesity, and so I just said, hey, here are all the preceding notes we've ever talked about obesity. AI, can you give me the
Yeah.
5 key points so I know what's going on?
Exactly.
And it's great at that.
So it did exactly what it needed to.
Right. If you give it the information, it can really help you out. If you just say, hey, tell me all their things about obesity, you can imagine
Then you
what
can
that
get
would look at.
anything
I know,
and
right?
everything.
It'd be like, I go crazy. Well, you should use those things. And a dog? I don't know.
That's not how that works at all. When it comes to, I guess, the veterinary industry as a whole, what are you most hopeful about over these next few years?
To be honest with you, my friend, I tell you, the veterinary student population is what I love. And I think that the idea is that there's people who are pessimistic about veterinary medicine. They're like, oh, I can't believe it. They're a little bit burnt out. They're working too hard. And for those, I say, gosh, you know what? As I said, there's so many opportunities for you to do. You don't have to basically just churn out case over case. If there's something else you want to do, you want to travel, you want to help out in foreign lands or help the zoo. I do a lot of work with the zoos.
Yes.
You can basically volunteer or just say, hey, I'm interested in this, and how many doors open for you, right? They're just super excited to have somebody who's super excited. And so there's a lot of opportunities out there. And what I tell you is that veterinary students, when they come out, if you find somebody that's, I don't know why you became a veterinarian, the debt, that, and the other thing, just start realizing all the opportunities you have. Once you have your veterinary degree, there's nothing that you can't do, right? It's incredible that opens up so many doors.
What do you feel like your favorite, or I guess your favorite opportunity that came from just putting yourself out there?
Right? Well, I tell you what, probably the best thing that I loved was working at the zoo. I basically got to ultrasound a snow leopard. I have radiographed rhinoceros. I basically got to ultrasound dolphins. It's been amazing. So there's so much that you can do. So from an imaging standpoint, that's been great. But honestly, the other opportunity that I love is just traveling. Like I've talked to all these different countries. I've actually lectured internationally. So we went to Hong Kong and things like that nature. So there's just so many people who are interested. If you put yourself out there, right? You can just go to work every day and then just come home every night. But sort of what you can see with these influencers or anything, you can basically do anything. Exactly right. And just make connections because honestly, you just say yes, and you'll be amazed what doors that opens.
Yes, I love that. Any parting words of advice for vet students?
Just, it is not as bad as you think, right? I know you're studying, I know it's hard, but at the end of the day, all that information is going to be useful to you. And also realize you don't have to get 100%, right? At the end of the day, when you're thinking about it, you're getting these grades of B plus. Hey, I'll give you a hint. You're going to pass. As long as you put the time in, you don't have to be, we're all overachievers. We want A pluses on everything. Don't worry about it. So that's sort of the key, is that enjoy the process. Try to learn and realize I've learned more from what I got wrong rather than what I get right. So don't freak out the fact that, oh, I can't believe I only got an 80 on that exam. Look at it as, oh, those are the things I'm going to remember because I need to figure out this is the stuff I didn't know. And that's okay.
I love that. Well, appreciate you. This was
great to meet you.
Time flew.
That's right. I know, exactly right. But thank you very much. I hope to see you at WVC, either Vegas or Nashville.
Or Nashville. Yes, for the East Coast people. I'm from the DMV. It's just so much easier to travel. Come to WVC Nashville.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amazing.